Hello to everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will talk about my Kraftwerk obsession, but before we start I wanted to tell you that very soon I will do a special unboxing, and this unboxing will be about the 2005 Minimum Maximum special box set. I will do this box set because I saw that there is no unboxing about this Minimum Maximum box set here on YouTube, so I think that will be kinda interesting. So let's move on the topic of today's video, and it's the obsession for Kraftwerk. So the first step to understand how I became obsessed with Kraftwerk is going back in time in 2006 or 2007, when I was only 5 years old. So what happened when I was 5 years old? I was obsessed with trains. I like trains even today, but when I was 5 years old I was pretty obsessed with trains. I was at the time living in Poland in a house that was near a train track. So knowing that, I was always asking my dad or my mom to go to this train track to see trains. So my mom knew Kraftwerk since she was a little girl, so there is one song that is pretty related to trains and is Trains Europe Express. So my mom one evening said, "Listen, came here, I have to show you something." And this something was Trains Europe Express, the music video of 1977. So that evening I was sitting in front of my computer screen, and what I saw was the music video of Trans Europe Express from 1977. So I was completely amazed by the video. I never seen something like that before. The music in itself sounded just like trains. The music video was stunning for my eyes, especially as a train lover, because in the video there are train tracks everywhere, there are trains, there are happy people riding trains, and especially for guys that happened to be Kraftwerk, so Ralf, Wolfgang, Karl and Florian. And this was exactly like the first time I ever seen Kraftwerk. This was the first contact completely. So after a short period of time I was introduced always by my mother to another music video, and this music video was none other but The Robots, or The Roboter. Yeah, this was another great music video for my eyes, for my ears. It was really impressive listening to those electronic sounds, those robotic voices, and seeing those four elegant gentlemen wearing those red shirts with black ties and red moving dots. And the best part of the music video were the look-alike mannequins. I was completely stunned again about Kraftwerk, and I was getting always in the band more and more. After some time I was introduced to another song, and this song was the song that convinced me to listen to Kraftwerk officially and even more. And the song is part of the Minimum Maximum album, and it was Radioactivity. So Radioactivity had a completely different impact on my mind. It was completely different, if you know, from the Trans Europe Express and the Robots music videos. I saw for the first time Kraftwerk playing in front of an audience, and I saw for the first time this big ass screen, with the words displayed, the moving images, and all this cool stuff. The equipment was different too. Those four keyboards, the laptops, and you couldn't really understand what they were doing behind those weird things, and here again the electronic voices, the rhythm, the sounds. And this just got me officially into the band, and there I started officially listening to Kraftwerk with different and more mature eyes. As a kid, I was getting that much into Kraftwerk that at some point I have decided to go to school with shirts and ties because I needed to replicate Kraftwerk. You know, it happened to me to wear a red polo t-shirt with a tie just to imitate the robots at school. I needed to go to school dressed like Kraftwerk. This is that how much I was into the band as a kid. So unfortunately, at the time I got to put Kraftwerk in the closet and forget about them because I had unfortunately to change school, to change several homes because of some reasons, and this lasted until 2015. In 2015 I suddenly had reminded myself that Kraftwerk actually existed, and so I started to rediscover them, to listen to their songs, discover new songs that I had never heard of. And always in 2015 I bought my first Kraftwerk ticket, and it was for the Florence Show at the Teatro dell'Opera. So after the Florence Show, something in my mind has snapped. Something has changed forever. There was no point of return. I was completely in love with Kraftwerk, and here is where my obsession has officially began with the band. So the next year I bought the ticket for the Verona show in 2016. In 2017 I saw two shows of them, one in Perugia, one in Torino. And then, because of COVID and other things, I couldn't see them in 2020. So I took the ticket for the 2022 Milano show and Padova show. And then this year, 2023, I saw them again in Genova. And really, guys, I can't get enough of Kraftwerk shows. I know that they are going to play in Rimini here in Italy again for the New Year Eve, but I can't be there, unfortunately, because of other things that are going around me. But yeah, if I had the chance to see them, I wouldn't think twice before buy a ticket for that upcoming show. So, and this is just the show part, because I even collect items, many items from them, and we can start by thinking about simple cups. For example, the first item that I ever bought from Kraftwerk is the Mix mousepad. I bought it along the Robots black t-shirt and the red pixel posters. So there were my first Kraftwerk items. Now I collect vinyls. I have a lot of vinyls. I have the whole discography on vinyl from Kraftwerk. I even have some rare vinyls, and I'm pretty happy about that. Every time I remind myself that I am a Kraftwerk fan, my heart starts beating fast, because it's, I mean, a pretty good emotion for me. It's relieving, thinking that I am part of this fandom, I am part of this musical culture, of this band in some way. So someone maybe is wondering what are the best things that can happen to a Kraftwerk fan. And from my side, as a Kraftwerk fan, there are two things that are the very best that can happen to me as a Kraftwerk fan. The first one is to find rare things, rare objects about the band merchandising online or in shops for a very good price, and I can show you some of them. So the first one is here just in my hands. I have shown you this before, and this is a original 1978 La Macchina Umana. from Argentina or Uruguay. As you can see, the title is written in Spanish, not in German or English, but in Spanish. So another thing that I want to show you that I had found on Wallapop for a very good price is this maxi single here. And why this is particular and quite rare to find? Because this is the first edition of Expo 2000. And here on this vinyl we have the first and demo edition of Expo 2002 Kling Klang Mix. And this was a demo. If you want to hear the story about this vinyl, so someone had put on this vinyl a demo song, and as Kraftwerk has discovered, they ordered to retire all the copies from the markets. So this is why it's quite rare to find, because all the copies of this vinyl were soon retired from the market. This is why. So now I will show you what's the best second or maybe the best first thing that can happen to a Kraftwerk fan. I will show you it right now. This is the best thing that can happen ever to a Kraftwerk fan, a autograph. But I don't have just one autograph. I don't have just two autographs. I don't have just three autographs. But I have 7 autographs from Kraftwerk. So finding good items about Kraftwerk online or in shops and getting autographs and getting to meet the band in real life are only the ones of the pros. You know, there are obviously some pros about being a Kraftwerk fan. So for me, another pro of being a Kraftwerk fan is never have really to change music. You know, Kraftwerk for me has a infinite source of music. If I get tired of one song, I have other albums and I can go listen to another song and fall in love with each song every time. I won't obviously specify that I listen to other music besides Kraftwerk, but you know, Kraftwerk is always Kraftwerk. Is the first one and is the last one when I think of music. Music for me starts always from Kraftwerk and ends always with Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk is the world. When I look at the mirror, I don't see just myself, I see Kraftwerk, because Kraftwerk now is just part of my being. That's it. And if there are pros about being a Kraftwerk fans, like, you know, you have a different musical culture if you are a Kraftwerk fan, you know a lot about music if you listen to Kraftwerk. That's it. There are other bad things that can happen around you by being so obsessed with Kraftwerk, like making your family almost hate the band because you listen to it too much and they get tired of those beautiful and perfect electronic sounds. Being a Kraftwerk fan means being annoying towards other people, because in my case I need to infodump my friends and my family. Some of my friends started mocking me like, oh my god, Kraftwerk, you talk always about that fucking band. And I'm like, yes guys, I can't do anything about it. It's just a Kraftwerk thing. So guys, I think that I will end here the video. I told you how I met Kraftwerk for the first time. I told you how I fell in love with them. I told you some pros and some bad things about being a Kraftwerk fan. I showed you my trophies. And if you want to know more about being quite obsessed with Kraftwerk like me, just leave a comment. I always read comments. Comments are very important for me. Leave a like, and if you want, subscribe and stay tuned, because very soon I will do this Kraftwerk unboxing where I will unbox the Minimum Maximum box set. So stay tuned and see you next time. Goodbye.